Bring 10 friends home and ask your mother to feed them. She'll rustle up a fantastic meal out of whatever happens to be in the fridge about 6 seconds before you asked. Mums are good at making a lot out of what little they've got. I shiver to think that this Royal Enfield is sort of like my mother, but it's also very good at making a lot out of fairly basic equipment. And this updated Interceptor 650, and I do use the term updated very lightly indeed, it removes the one big niggle of owning one. The prospect of punctures and spoked wheels coming together. When those two party together, they wreck everything. The Royal Enfield Interceptor came out in 1962. No, wait. That was the old one. The Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 came out in 2018. It featured one of the catchiest ad jingles I've ever heard and a price that was an absolute shock. And it doubled down on the appeal by not feeling incapable or under-engineered or silly. It wanted to be a friendly retro roadster, and that's what it's been. The unlikely subtext today is that it's taken 5 years for Royal Enfield to offer us a model with alloy wheels and tubeless tires. If you're a fan, I suppose, better late than never. And if you're not, what nonsense! The Interceptor has not changed a lot since it came out in 2018, and I find that troublesome and explainable. Explainable because, well, it's a retro roadster. The design cues, they come from the 70s, and those cues remain where they are, whether the year is 2018, 2023, or indeed 2052. Troublesome? By now, 5 years on, I was expecting Royal Enfield to have updated this motorcycle more significantly. Even if you've never ridden one, the Interceptor has a recognizable shape and silhouette. It's a simple design, but with some really nice color schemes. And design? It's got the tank, it's got the side panel, and that's about it. But the 650cc engine, it's large and it dominates the visual presence of the motorcycle, and the 18-inch wheels give it both heft and stance. With the alloy wheels comes blacked out everything. The headlight bezel, handlebar, levers, they're about the only things still in chrome. And the chrome engine cases, we know now that they tend to lose their sheen with time, so these black ones, they'll probably do better. Oh, and do notice the LED headlight. It's so overdue. We should probably give thanks. By now you can guess that the engine performance has not changed at all, right? But if you've never ridden an Interceptor before, I think you're going to like it. The torque comes faster than McDonald's can give you burgers, and Ronald, he shuts shop at night. The Enfield Talk kitchens are always open, but it's not an angry motorcycle. It's a little bit slower than a Duke off the line. It's probably quicker on the quarter mile, but the mood, it's Makeba versus Enter Sandman, the former being the Interceptor. The gearbox is slick, but you don't have to use it all that much. Open the throttle, any gear, any revs, and the Enfield usually thrums forward gracefully and quickly without losing its sense of being a relaxed, laid-back motorcycle. It's so old school that the classes are still being held outside under a shady tree. Top speed is 160-ish, so it's not slow. And as easy as it is in the city, that's how it's out on the highway as well. It stays relaxed and smooth in top gear all the way up to 120 and beyond, and even then it has enough in reserve to make overtaking simple. This is a brilliant, if simple, engine. You'll also notice heat coming off the engine and onto your legs. It's there whether you like it or not. How uncomfortable it makes you is something you need to think about. Comfort is where the Interceptor used to have issues. Initial models, the handlebar felt too far away from you, and rotating it back towards yourself was the easy fix. The seats were more challenging. They were too soft and could cause aches and pains pretty rapidly. These 2023 seats, they do feel better, but I still think that flatter, firmer foam is a better solution. It will annoy riders initially, but once they get used to the seat, then comfort arrives and then it stays for a long, long time. The Interceptor was designed to accept all kinds of riders easily. So the bar seat foot peg relationship, it's pretty neutral. And whether you're tall or not, you should be able to find a comfortable riding position pretty easily. This is supported by reasonably soft suspension that does a pretty decent job in most situations. Just remember that the faster you get, the more bouncy and reactive the suspension can feel. It's almost as if the Interceptor was not designed to hustle. But this hustling and the stock seat aside, comfort, it's not really a factor. And just like the Interceptor manages a reasonable level of comfort, it also has adequate composure and fun in the corners. The Interceptor is neither lazy nor alert, it's somewhere in the middle. And now that the ghost of the Pirelli Phantoms is behind us, you'll find enough grip and there is cornering clearance. You can really push that thing to high lean angles if you feel like it. I've tasted Interceptors at full flow at the racetrack and they needed me to be smooth with my inputs so that the suspension movement was minimized. But once you did that, it was quick. Just like the engine, it's a laid-back feeling motorcycle in the corners too. You can hustle it up the bends if you like, and it'll feel slightly heavy, reasonably accurate and responsive. And you'll have a lot of fun, but you'll never feel outright sporty. Because of its age, we know a lot about what it is like to live with an Interceptor, and life honestly is pretty simple. Oil changes are 10,000 kilometers apart, although service is 5,000 kilometers or 2 times a year. Royal Enfield has a vast network that means Interceptor owners will not struggle to find a place to get service, and service quality is usually pretty good, although we do hear sporadic complaints, and expect to pay between 1,700 to 2,800 rupees a service as far as we can tell. Standard warranty is 3 years 30,000 kilometers, and you can add a 2-year 20,000 kilometer extension if you like. If you own one of the Royal Enfield 650s, you can help us and the MotorInc family by leaving us a comment telling us where you are, what you pay for service, and what your service experience has been like. The Interceptor is an evergreen motorcycle because for most people it does most things with grace. Royal Enfield have become really good at creating feel-some motorcycles for people with a calmer mindset. Think about it as the difference in feel between turning the pages of a paper book and scrolling up a reel. So what does the Interceptor 650 do truly badly? I don't like those switches, but the answer is not much. What does it do truly well? I like the engine, but that answer technically is also no. What it pulls off is the ability to create good feelings when you ride it. The Interceptor 650 underlines the weakness of spec sheets when it comes to describing the promise of a new motorcycle. By spec sheet, this should be slow, heavy, boring. The spec sheet cannot capture how charming it is or how it manages to feel relaxed and old school without feeling slow. And remember, slow and old is not my motorcycle format of choice, and I still climb off these 650s having had a fun ride every single time. And to me, that makes the Interceptor 650 the beginning of the 650cc range a value for money motorcycle. These alloy wheels, they're 17,000 rupees more expensive than the spoke models, and I think that price is totally worth it. What I hate is the fact that I can't get the Mark II, the chrome Interceptor with alloy wheels, and that the Tripper navigation unit is still not standard on any of these bikes. Now, it took 5 years for one set of alloy wheels, 2 sets of stickers, and a headlight to be thrown onto this motorcycle. So this Interceptor is a pretty relaxed motorcycle, but maybe the product update cycle shouldn't be just as chilled out.